treated like trash. Persona 5 The Phantom X drops to mixed on Steam over mistreatment of global players chat. This is Black Beacon all over again. Persona 5X, following the standard banner controversy with new character Marianne, they removed her free cognitive from the global and game awards that the Chinese server had, removing what we had as global players. Or what they had as Chinese players, rather. Chinese compensation is 3 times the compensation of global. I bet global players really loved that. Did they not see what we did to Black Beacon when they pulled the same thing? Persona 5 Phantom X may no longer be releasing characters onto standard banner like they do in other regions once their banner ends. Really? Okay, where do we start? I guess we'll start by going all the way back 3 days ago. Sometimes really good games have really bad management. No shade at the original developers for Persona 5 The Phantom X. That's what the entirety of this video is about. You saw the title, you clicked the video, you know we're discussing it, you know that the game right now is in hot water, at least globally. I'm sure you saw the Play Store rankings in the thumbnail. What I want to address real quick before getting into the react that I did on stream was that there was a lot of information to process. There were numerous different topics made. I feel like dozens of different Reddit threads, hundreds of different tweets. Why I made a tweet specifically concerning my general thoughts after reading through everything and reacting to everything. There was one thing that I was corrected on, and that's what I want to note here in the video. I'm going to leave my original reaction to this bit of information in the complete video, but I want to point out that the specific part concerning Marianne seems to be misinformation. Long story short, the character that was discussed at the beginning of the react actually wasn't added to the standard banner until version 1.3 on the Chinese server. We're currently at 1.1 on the global server. Apparently they're trying to catch us up to China, and therefore the rate of unit acquisition, maybe content as well, is being sped up to meet this. Now with that little bit of misinformation cleared up, let's go ahead and jump into the video because it's still pretty damn bad. So this all happened 3 days ago. Let me preface this by stating everything discussed henceforth is not a direct attack on Persona 5 The Phantom X. I will openly state, chat, Persona 5 The Phantom X is a very good game, but just because a game is good doesn't mean the developers or the publishers aren't gonna do something stupid to mess the game up. This happened at Infinity Nikki, this happened at Black Beacon, this happened at Ethereum Restart. Great games ruined by greed. That isn't to say that this is going to happen with this. I haven't read anything here and I haven't heard anything other than the mention of all the threads and everything, but oh boy. Additionally, if you have not already, join our Stix subreddit community. We're at almost 2,000 members. We're the biggest, best, greatest, awesomest subreddit community for gacha on Reddit. During today's live stream showing off new characters coming in this week's Persona 5X, it was announced that the character Minami Miyashita will not be moving to standard banner right away. It may come later down the line, but this type of thing is abnormal for the game. Here's a tweet that goes on to confirm this. Marianne will not be added to the standard banner right after the version ends. That means that Marianne will not be available from the gold ticket gacha starting in 1.2. Here's a list of all the characters released so far in the non-global versions. As you may notice, there are characters with the tag limited and not limited. The non-limited characters are immediately added to the standard pool of characters the moment their first launch ends. One user claims that she will go standard, but in a later patch, which still doesn't change the fact that it's not the same as in other servers. So essentially what they're saying here is that the characters that players in China got added to the standard banner are not getting added to the standard banner in the same state of the game for global. So Chinese players are getting characters or getting easier access to characters than global players are getting. That is, if that is the case, that is in fact absolute incompetence, greed, neglect of your global players, and favoritism. But I mean, you know, that's just based off of this. I can't confirm this, but I mean, evidently, at the very least, it's not being added into the standard banner right now. So at the very least, players will have her introduced later, which did not happen in China. I mean, I would say that upon initial inspection is definitely a form of immediate favoritism and bad for your game overall, especially for your global players that have been supporting the game since it released. They're being a bit greedy and stupid. the context are lacking here. Exactly, but they did state that we're not going to get it, at least initially. So that is a type of favoritism still, or at least an alteration that has been made between China and global. Let's continue. Did they not see what we did to Black Beacon when they pulled the same thing? So this is in reference to they will never learn. Black Beacon definitely better now. I blame the publisher for mishandling the rewards. Minami isn't being added to the regular banner when it ends. It is a future release, apparently. Atlas, unfortunately, has a lot more fanatics loyal to the brand than Black Beacon. Situation is a bit different, but if you're still playing Persona 5 after this, you cannot be respected. Damn! Okay, that is a claim. Wow, okay, let's go ahead and take a look at this tweet then. Maintenance gem for English versus China. This is such a joke. LOL. I remember this kind of thing on Black Beacon 2. Do these devs really think that people aren't going to notice? The game is okay. They keep on being greedy. I too will not support the game in the future. Okay, let's take a look. Thank you for playing the game. We're sending this free gift to commemorate the update. So here's what Global got, chat. You can see it right here, right? 100 premium gems. 100. So you'd think that that would be the same case around the world, right? And then they happen to go ahead and reward China with 300. 300. Triple global. Come on. It doesn't matter how good the game is. When they start showing favoritism to a specific region, that is the region that matters. You don't. It doesn't matter how good a game is. If any gacha game that I love starts showing favoritism to a game, I will immediately do a video and call them out for it, because all players should be treated equal. Before we go any further, I do want to take a moment here to thank all of my incredible patrons over on Patreon and my YouTube channel members who allow for me to continue to do dedicated videos like this every single day. You guys are absolutely phenomenal, and I genuinely cannot thank you all enough for the support. It's actually disgusting how much better non-global gets it. Exactly. Can't understand how they cannot expect the players to take notice of this. Yeah, we now live in a society where everyone shares everything that happens in their gacha games. So no, you can't just do this anymore. You can't just release an update. You can't alter a character. You can't reward a region more, because everyone will know, and then everyone will do a video on it. Or at the very least should do a video on it. The fact that I haven't seen other gacha creators talking about this it is baffling to me. Like, look at this, this has almost 400,000 views, dude, in the last 48 hours. Everyone should be talking about this. This is an insanely hot topic. Okay, but apparently this continues to get worse. Chinese compensation is 3 times of global. Okay, yeah, we saw that. Plus the permanent nurse units locked out of until a future date, running 2 limited units at the same time, essentially. Here we go again. End of service incoming. I think that's a bit extreme. Sure. But they definitely do need to address this. People saying this game is free to play are playing other games. Even Hoyo gives more than that. The thing is, we obviously know other servers exist and what they offer. Gacha game developers think their player base live under a rock. This is so insulting, and it sucks because it's genuinely a good game. Exactly. Persona 5 Phantom X, following the standard banner controversy with the new character Marianne, they removed her free cognitive Eidolon Constellation Center from the global in-game awards that Chinese server had. Uma Musume might be the only game to launch this year without controversy so far. Holy crap. So not only did they fuck her over for global players, but they go ahead and remove stuff from her as well from global. As you probably saw, there's been some controversy in the Persona 5 global community as a new character Marianne, who was added to the standard banner straight after her limited banner in the Chinese server over a year ago, was announced to not be coming immediately to standard after her banner, with no further information given as to when she would arrive. So essentially, like, the reason that they're doing this is to maximize the revenue for the first months of release, because people are like, oh, so if she was going to be standard like in China, they would have just skipped her because they're going to acquire her through the standard route. But no, removing her from standard means that people have to pull on her for the limited banner, maximizing their initial revenue. This has understandably made a lot of people very upset. Now, they've taken things a step further. In the Chinese server, there was a planned mission list, which for one of the missions rewarded you with free standard cognite of your choice, which would be the equivalent to a character dupe. So they give you a free character dupe of your choice in China. This also included Marianne, as she was a standard character in the Chinese server. Additionally, Marianne is one of the best healers in the game, so her dupes are very valuable, especially her first one, which reduces enemy defense. Stix. This plan has now come to the global version. However, Marianne is now missing from the prize pool selection, presumably as she is not a standard character yet in global. This is a reward the Chinese server had that has now been explicitly taken away from the global and Japanese audience. Look at Steam, you can see that it is being review bombed as many people are upset at these changes. Really? Let's see what's going on with Steam. 53% of reviews are positive only. Western players are getting treated like trash compared to the original version. Greedy devs trying to wring every possible cent out of player. The game is very good, but the global release was neutered by pure corporate greed. Global has been fumbled pretty hot. Goddamn. Okay. Whoa, okay. Yeah, we can see a clear indicator as to the trajectory of the ratings over on the side, right, chat? This is what happens. So, chat, this is what happens when people like your game. It releases, it does good, everyone's happy, and then they go and do something stupid, and then over on the far right happens. I understand why Uma has absolutely overtaken it in the first 2 weeks. It has, yeah. That right there, dude, that is, what are they doing? How are they killing such a good game? I feel like I'm seizing up here because I just cannot fathom the stupidity, the sheer and utter stupidity from studios. You have a good game. Like, do they value? Like, is the ROI, the return on investment in the short term, so significant that they're willing to kill their game in the long term? Like, seriously, 10 million month one, and then a dead game 6 months later is going to be significantly worse than 2 million every month for 5 years. Because you reward your players, you're generous with your players, you show that you care. Holy fuck me in the ass and call me Susie, dude. Or no, call me Marianne, because you know what? Nobody's gonna get her after the limited run because she's not available in global. Goddamn. Treated like trash. Persona 5 The Phantom X drops to mixed on Steam over mistreatment of global players. There was an article written about it on The Gamer. Holy crap, it has gotten so big and so popular that they're writing articles on how badly global is being treated. Whoa. Wait, whoa. So it was 70% just like 30 hours ago, and now it's down to 50%. Oh my God, it is tanking, chat. In a day or two, this is gonna be below 40% positive. This is available on the Play Store, right? Can we take it? Holy shit! What the what? Oh my God! Okay. 1.6, chat. For reference. Chat, for reference. Generally considered the greediest gacha game of all time. One of the most hated and reviled due to how the devs and publishers treat their players. Infinity Nikki is still above 2 stars, have slowly climbed back up little by little. How has Persona 5 The Phantom X now become the lowest rated gacha game release of the last several years? Wow, holy crap. It's now effectively worse than Infinity Nikki. It is worse than Infinity Nikki. Chat, if they do not address this soon, it is over. This Infinity Nikki at its worst hit 1.4. If this hits 1.4 or below, this will go down as the lowest rated major gacha release pretty much ever. I know you think that you just hit the end of the video, and technically, yeah, you have. And I know your first reaction is to close out of it at this juncture, but don't. No, instead, I urge you to take a moment here and click one of the videos on screen that are coming up in just a moment so you remain up to date with everything going on in the gacha genre. Trust me, you're not going to regret doing so. Stay flaccid.